Welcome to another episode of PropTech Part Talks again. And today we have a special guest with us, Samantha McLean, an expert in AI and real estate. Samantha, thank you for joining us, and please introduce yourself for the audience.
Thanks for having me, Zeenish. I'm Samantha McLean, editor of 𝗣𝗿𝗍𝗀𝗀𝗀, author of 𝗣𝗿poweredagents.com, and I run a whole lot of AI workshops for real estate professionals.
Great to have you with us. And Samantha, can you just start by telling us a bit about your journey? How did you transition from accounting to becoming a tech trailblazer in the real estate industry?
Yeah, good question. I started my career as an accountant back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I really hated it. But at the time, technology was starting to become interesting. So I put pause on university, didn't tell anyone, didn't tell my family or friends or anything, and went to work for another accounting firm in a data entry job, which I didn't think anyone would approve of, which is why I didn't tell anyone. But I ended up running technology at that firm at the ripe old age of 22. And I guess that's where my love of technology began.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. And when we talk about AI, how do you see AI transforming the real estate industry in the next 5 years or down the line?
5 years is a really long time in the age of AI, I think.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to see around a corner that big. But I think in the short term, the way that things are transforming is, for a real estate agent, can make you seriously more productive. It can allow you to provide better customer service and differentiated customer service, I think, which is really important because a lot of real estate agents struggle to look different than their competition. So I think that can do that. I think on the consumer side of things, we're going to see a lot of new and interesting stuff pop up. So particularly the one that comes to mind is the way that people search for property and get matched to property. I think AI will have a lot to do with how that works. And I also think that the way that properties get automated, the way that properties get valuated will be more valuated. The way that properties will get valued will be more automated. And so it will be, where a real estate agent uses their personal expertise to value a property. I think that the algorithm's going to get very good at that, and it will be even more important for a real estate agent to be able to find and secure buyers, that can get that premium price for a property. Among a heap of other things like virtual reality, it's a very exciting space to be in.
Yeah. What are the, for example, the practical examples of how AI has shaped the industry until now? We know that AI has affected many other industries. How do you think that it has affected the real estate industry till now?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's impacted. I mean, we've been using AI in the real estate industry for a number of years, like the portals and things like that have had AI in their back ends. If you like this, you might like that kind of thing. They've been doing that for ages. But I think, it's starting to, it's going to be up to the real estate agents who are leading the way, I think, that will set the pace for how competitive everyone else is in the future, because at the moment you've got a lot of real estate agents embracing AI, and you've probably got a lot that don't. And so the ones that don't, I think the cost of inaction is becoming faster and greater for the ones that don't, because the ones that are taking those leaps ahead now will be much further ahead by the time everyone sort of says, "Oh, this AI thing, I better pay attention."
So the ones who are not taking, that into consideration, do you think there are some challenges that real estate agents they face in integrating the AI into their workflows?
Yeah, I think there are some very real challenges out there. And it's not really the technology. I think it's behaviour change is probably the biggest challenge. The technology, as you and I both know, ChatGPT is quite easy to operate, but it's okay, how do I serve the customer better? Or, thinking AI first rather than doing it the way that I've always done it, which is really quite comfortable, and then not moving forward. And the second thing I would think is that there are very real risks associated with using AI. So, privacy issues and things like that with client data. I mean, no one's really sure, what that's going to look like in the future. Until there's some sort of a breach, which is not out of the bounds of possibility. The ongoing sort of changes to things like anti-money laundering and stuff like that. Like, I think there's a real risk in cloning and deepfakes and things like that. So, and I mean, those things are very real. So I don't blame people for feeling like, oh, it's a lot. But, I really think you've got to pick one customer pain point or one customer experience that you want to focus on, and, and start looking at how you can deliver better in that, not perfect, but better. And then, work on the behaviour change in that area, and then perhaps other areas.
Mm-hmm. So the mistrust that, we can say that there is a mistrust that's been created by the AI as well. How can real estate agents deal with that? How can they create that trust relationship with the consumers?
Yeah, well, I think you've got two choices if you're a real estate agent, because there's 200 million consumers that are using ChatGPT alone right now. And a lot of them kind of, I don't know. I mean, I've got a healthy, I think, skepticism of things. When I type something into ChatGPT, I don't take it as gospel, but there are other people who would be on different levels of that spectrum, I think. And so for some consumers, they might really trust what ChatGPT says. If I put in some sort of can I have an exercise and workout plan for, someone who's getting on a little, I might really trust what ChatGPT says and take it to its word. I could ask ChatGPT for some financial advice, and it's probably way better than what I would know myself right now. And so I think that, what's going to be interesting in the future is the trust factor. So I still think that at the core of every real estate transaction is trust. But whether consumers trust the real estate agent because they can provide value beyond the AI, or whether they trust the AI, I think that's entirely in the agent's hands.
Yeah, well, that's a unique perspective. So you often talk about the importance of adaptability quotient. Can you explain what AQ is and why it's crucial for the real estate professionals?
Yeah, so I think at the moment, particularly post-pandemic as well, ability to be able to roll with the punches is really important. And it's a skill that Silicon Valley are hiring on at the moment, or have been for quite some time, is not to see change in the workplace. This is behaviour change that I was talking about earlier. And sort of go, no, I'm not doing that because we've always done it this way. But this way might not work. In the pandemic, we found that, we couldn't go to the office, and that way definitely did not work. And so the people that will, really thrive in this next stage of AI are the people that kind of look at it and go, well, okay, the way we've always done it was that way, but there might be a much more efficient way of doing it now, which is, completely different to what we used to do. And then they might go down that path and think that that's all really great, but then it breaks tomorrow because OpenAI decide to change their algorithm, or Claude starts performing better or something like that. And so then you've got to start again. And I think, that there is a role at the moment that experimentation with these tools plays, and I think you just got to be ready to roll with it.
So so many changes happening with AI, how can what steps can the real estate professionals take to future-proof their careers in the age of AI? Yeah,
the first thing is to get knowledgeable and start playing with some of the technology. I think, play is your homework at the moment. Just get to know some of the tools, watch some of the videos, see what AI can do, because I swear I was sort of, it was almost like opening a personal computer again, 40 years ago, being able to play with ChatGPT. It's just like, wow, this is so good. And I mean, that would be the main thing, is I would say, play with the technology and really think about, what you can do that is beyond AI. Because I listened to this really interesting interview with 𝗣𝗏𝗀𝗀 a couple of months ago, and he basically said, AI replaces competence. And so if you're simply competent, AI will replace you. But what you've got to think about is, what are the jobs that AI can't do? And let the AI do the jobs that AI can do, and you do the jobs that the AI can't do. And so obviously there we're thinking about the human aspect of being a real estate agent, which is dealing with people, being empathetic, those sorts of things, the face-to-face things, the negotiation, the finding the right buyers. Obviously use AI to help you every step of the way, but don't give up your humanity or your heart completely.
Yeah, well, building that bond is like something that, that AI can't do, right? So
that's very true.
So what advice would you give to the aspiring real estate professionals who are looking to leverage AI in their careers?
The advice, we've talked about a couple of them now, is like get knowledgeable about what's going on in the AI world and what's possible. Start, imagining, like look at it with a bit of wonder, like how can this be really good for my business? How can I use this to grow my business? How can I use it to give customers a better experience? And then really think hard about some of the things that you might outsource now, or you could outsource to the AI. What are the parts that that the AI can't do where you can add value? Because if a consumer sort of sees that an AI can do it in the future, and again, I can't see around corners, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say that, we can get AI to do a lot of things now. As a journalist, I can get AI to do a lot of things now that I never used to be able to do. But what is the human value that we can add beyond what the AI can do? And I think that's really where the future value lies for real estate agents.
Well, that's interesting. So now that you're an expert in the field, are there any upcoming projects or initiatives that you would like to share with us that you're excited about? We are still doing some workshops here in Australia, face-to-face workshops we're doing, and we're also doing virtual courses online, teaching agents how to win more listings with AI, how to communicate better with AI, and how to become more productive. So, and that actually gives me a lot of joy, because it's really fun teaching skills, number one, in such an interesting field, and number two, that are really useful, that, people walk away and they go, wow, that's amazing. I mean, in a few years' time, it might not be so amazing because everybody might be doing it, but, at the moment, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So I've read about your tilting approach to life. So, can you just give us an insight into that? Like how real estate agents can balance work and parenthood?
Yeah. I think that came from quite a way back in my career, where I think I would congratulate myself on being a multitasker from, that I could literally win a gold medal at the Olympics in multitasking. And, until I was taught by somebody very wise that multitasking is actually not very productive, because the more split you are between various tasks, the longer every task takes you. So if you're looking to achieve benefit on one particular task, then, you should finish that first. So, for example, like in a podcast, if you recorded 20 podcasts and then edited 20 podcasts and then went to publish them, it would be at least 40 weeks before you publish the first one. Whereas if you record one, you edit it, you publish it, you've at least got one out. So that was a big lesson for me, in that, sometimes being single focused could really benefit in terms of getting things done. And then the tilting thing really came from, people talking about the juggle between work life, home life, having some sort of work-life balance, and juggling just felt to me like, as a writer, was not the right word for it. Like, I'd rather not feel out of control juggling, and I felt like tilting one way and then tilting another was more controlled. So that was why I started calling it tilting instead of juggling.
Oh, that's something that I can take, because I am also a multitasker, and I also get, confused at times. So thank you, Samantha, for your insights, and it's been a pleasure having you with us on the show. Any final words for our listeners?
Any final words? Look, I think, this is such an exciting space, and I love your podcast. Really, I've seen some of the experts that you've had on here, so definitely to get in amongst some of the episodes, and knowledge is power. So, it doesn't have to be boring. Just go play with the stuff.
Thank you, Samantha, for sharing your valuable insights on the evolving landscape of PropTech. To our audience, thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussions, and remember, the future of real estate is not just about adapting to change, but about leading it as well. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you.